Hello there, I'm Connie.
Hello, I'm Dobbs.
Welcome to The Worry Book, a podcast for anyone who has ever worried about anything ever. In each episode, we'll be exploring a subject that we worry about while trying not to make matters worse or falling out with each other. So this week, we're worrying about getting old.
Getting old. Hey. We're all doing it every single day, every single minute.
We are. There's no stopping it.
No.
The barrage of time.
But is it a bad thing?
I think there's something we need to do right at the start, and that's fess up on our age. And there, I've done it. I've done one of the things that I'm most worried about with getting old. I've said fess up.
Well,
And
yeah. Once you tell people your age,
once
then you
I
definitely
fess up about my age, I'm not going to feel comfortable using that phrase anymore.
You shouldn't be. So you tell
At
people
the
your
age
age.
of, drum roll please.
Dugga. Oh no, it's dugga. Go on, just tell
That
me
was
your age.
more akin to digging a grave, but yeah.
Come on.
42.
42 and I'm 44, unless you listen to this in 2 years' time, in which you'll be 46. No, I'll be 46. You might already be 46.
Who knows?
Or you might
Who
be
knows where we'll be? We
Pro-
might have invented some kind of like backwards time capsule.
I reckon we'll probably be sat on a bed worrying about getting people to listen to our podcast.
Still.
Still. Yeah, so that's what I probably reckon.
So yeah, now we've fessed up. You can see why I'm concerned about using that phrase, because one of the main things I worry about is that I no longer know what is appropriate language.
Appropriate language. Well, that's probably a different show. But people use all kinds of stuff. The worst one, the one that really grinds my gears. That's another bad thing that people say. But the one when people rock up. Oh, I just rocked up here. And it's always people of a certain age that
I've
say
done
that.
a bit of rocking up in my time.
No, don't.
I try not to, but sometimes it is the one that immediately springs to mind.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, where does it come from? Who said that the first time? Was someone not turn around and go, "What are you talking about? Rock up"?
I'm not even sure what it means.
Is it like some kind of like mining term?
Is it?
Is it some kind of rock and roll term?
I was going to say, is it linked to kind of, giving the impression that you're in a band and you just kind of rock up with your instruments and you're here and the party can get started?
Do your Axl Rose or Jim Morrison and just rock up 2 hours too late, 2 hours after you were due on stage, and there's a riot ensuing, and then you just go home and you're too drunk and you fall over and the riot continues.
We're back to a previous episode again.
That wasn't me. I've never had enough of an audience to cause a riot.
Well,
they've never noticed if I've not turned up late.
Don't worry, because you've got plenty of years ahead of you. Or have you?
Probably not. What am I, 44?
Yeah.
Middle age, will I make 88?
I wouldn't say you're a spring chicken, but I wouldn't say you're a balding old bird either.
No, full head of hair. Well,
full head of hair?
Kind of. It's fine. My hair's fine. It's not balding. It's fine.
So, So I got ID'd two years ago.
Okay.
When I was 40, at a cinema, not to go and not.
When you were 40 at a cinema.
Yeah, not to. They weren't questioning whether or not.
When the police asked for identification, you know that's not ID'd.
No, it wasn't about my. It wasn't about whether or not the film was suitable. It was because I was purchasing a beer and a beer and hot dog combo, to enjoy whilst watching the film, and it was questioned whether or not I was 25. Winner.
That's pretty good.
Oh, did you see what I did there? I did a little non-age
You
appropriate
did. You
arm
did.
movement.
You did like a
Winner.
It's not a fist bump because that's when you do
It's
that.
a kind
It's
of
a
downwards fist motion.
It's like whoa, yeah. The sound helps people realise what you were doing. It's like it's not like whoa, like the whoa, get in there.
No,
fist
it wasn't
up.
that.
It was more of a downwards.
It was a kind of yes to me.
Like if you're really playing the bagpipes aggressively.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I don't know if it's possible. It sounds like bagpipes are always being played aggressively.
Yeah, certainly the noise that comes out of it is quite aggressive.
What else did you think of it?
But well, people could always have had an angry face when you've been watching them play the bagpipes. I don't know.
When I've been watching them.
When you go and watch people play the bagpipes.
Yeah, this is true.
When you're not working and you're watching people playing the bagpipes, because that's what you do. You're either working or you're watching people.
This is true, and they do not like a heckler, I find.
Really?
No.
Well, maybe that's why they're always aggressive.
Yep. Don't mention
towards you.
Maybe.
Because you're, giving
bastard.
it some. You're
Yes.
giving it some.
I am.
So yes, I got ID'd. When was the last time you got ID'd?
I think I was definitely in my 30s. Probably the first half of my 30s. But I was definitely ID'd. In fact, it was weird, actually. But skipping back many moons, again, that's a crap term.
I think it is age appropriate, though.
It probably is, actually.
You're not trying to get
just
down
sounds
with
sad,
the kids.
But just like a sad 44-year-old
Getting
would
down
say.
with the kids. I've said it.
Yeah. So when I was like a teenager, like a young teenager, like a underage drinking 16, 17-year-old teenager, we'd go to the local off-license, the middle shop. Sometimes we'd go to the top shop, but the middle shop had a better selection. Depends who was in, because some people might know your age.
You can't get booze in Top Shop.
Not in Top Shop, but in the
Right.
top shop, corner shop on the top of the street. But the middle shop was better.
Very
You
confusing.
could get Barnstormer. I think we've discussed Barnstormer in previous episodes. Yeah, that's the root of a lot of my problems. But but we used to go there and we used to get served. No problem. And the first time I was ID'd and refused was the day after my 18th birthday.
Oh, the irony.
Gutted. And that was bagging booze in town. I don't think it was bagging booze.
But presumably
But, yeah.
then you weren't you were ID'd successfully because you were able to prove your age.
No, because I had no ID. So I couldn't get my 4 cans of Strongbow or whatever the hell it was. Should have stuck to the middle shop.
Did you then refuse to patronise the Top Shop? Were you always
no, I do remember
a loyal middle shop customer from that
once
point
in the middle
onwards?
shop they did question my age, and at the time I would have been 17, and I had an eyebrow piercing, very popular in the 90s alternative, swampy and all that. And I had an eyebrow pierced, and I was like, well, I've got to be 18 to get that, which is not true anyway. It's absolutely bullshit. But
but that was your.
but that I used that,
that
and
was
it
your
ended up
justification.
that was my ID, even though it worked.
So that's a good one. Piercings. You've got quite a few.
I've got a
you're
few.
Proud of and a proud wearer of in your middle years.
Well, I don't
Which
have.
I think suit you.
I don't have any facial piercings. I took my eyebrow piercing out. I used to have longer hair, and then when I took that out, you could see it, and I just realised how silly it looked. So I took that out. I don't regret having it, but I just thought I'd take that out.
Was it to do with getting old?
The reason I took it out.
Yeah, or had it gone crusty?
Well, the actual true story is that I had kind of matted, messy, dready hair and walk around in like full-on metal tops and all this lot. And I went to Donington Monsters of Rock Festival thinking what an individual I am, and I looked around and everyone looked the same.
Oh,
so it was a bit of like a,
didn't
well, hang
wanna
on, I can still think the same. I can
part
still be
of a
that
big
same
gang.
person. But it was the whole uniform thing. So I cut my hair. It went from like dreads matted, kind of like, crusty dreads, to like pretty much like the 90s curtains haircut as seen by Joe in EastEnders. I think that's right. So yeah, it's a bit of like a take that.
Do you mean
of,
the Paul Nichols character?
Maybe.
I think you do.
Yeah, I just know him as Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mad Joe. Oh, you
think-
can't say that though. I don't think. I think
Well-
that's inappropriate these days.
You know,
You know.
he had some issues, didn't he?
But anyway, that's
Yeah.
again that's another show. So yeah, I decided I wanted to look clean on the outside and dirty on the inside.
Oh,
So
that's,
that was,
that's
and,
what happened.
and I've stuck with that ever since. Pretty much. A little bit rough around the edges, probably, rather than clean on the outside. But yeah.
So nothing about your appearance has been adapted to reflect the fact that you're getting older. You're just kind of moving along, but making choices or making tweaks according to sort of how you feel at the time, or are you just not thinking about it? I mean, you might not even be although we have said we're worrying about this.
We are worrying about it.
Although, maybe we're just worrying about different aspects of getting older. I mean, I recently had a piercing.
Did you? Oh, you did? Yes.
Did I?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I recently got my ear pierced again.
Yeah, your ear pierced.
Yeah, so I've now got 2 in one and 1 in the other. Oh.
Oh, hey.
I am really pushing boundaries.
I know. Went to a top establishment.
I did. I went to the Arndale.
And got it done. No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's...
It was very hygienic, and I had a nice chat. And it was in a safe period of our current lockdown situation. It was all above board and legal, in every sense of the word. Obviously, I was legally of age to have that piercing, which I think is pretty much as soon as you come out the womb, you can have your ears pierced.
Well, with your parental consent.
Yes. So
you didn't have to drag your mum along.
I didn't know, not on this occasion. No. I don't think that would have been essential travel.
No.
But yeah, I really wanted to have that done, and I didn't really give a thought to kind of, is this what you have done in your early 40s? But I wonder at what point I will think, right, well, I'm never ever gonna do that again. That's probably what I'm starting to kind of dwell on, is at what point am I going to say those jeans are just too tight? I think that's what all this has been leading up to.
Yeah,
it's whether or not I'm wearing jeans that are too tight.
See, I think women can get away with more than men.
Are you
the tight
sure?
jeans and slight beer belly overhang is a
oh, well, cheers.
Not for you. No,
thanks,
but like,
thanks for that.
I will worry. It's a particular look that men of rock pubs tend to grow. I can probably live up to that quite well. Maybe a shirt unbuttoned down to in between the nipples, very specific.
Does that have a name?
The Nick Cave.
Mid-nip.
The Nick Cave or the changing rooms. I can't remember his name. Bowen, Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
Right. Okay.
But that kind of the Jay Rayner. Now he's cool.
Does he wear unbuttoned shirts?
I don't know, but he should. He just he just rolls in, looking all greasy.
Does he rock up?
He probably does, but he wouldn't say that, and he'd probably look at someone just in that way of disgust that he does.
You dick.
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't know who Jay Rayner is, then you've probably switched off. But so basically, dishevelled, kind of don't give a fuck. I dressed like this when I was 18. Why shouldn't I dress like it now? Well, many reasons.
And I think that's admirable. I think that sort of don't give a fuck attitude is to be admired.
Totally.
And it's kind of part of the aging process. I think if you can get to that point where you're kind of supremely confident in, who you are and what you look like, then brilliant. I just know that I am very guilty of occasionally inwardly judging people for
just inwardly
for wearing things which I would possibly not deem to be so appropriate, and that problem is all mine.
Do you know what I think it is though? I think what comes across is how and why people are wearing them. That's really why, it's hard to know why, but like, so if somebody walks in and they're just wearing some 59-year-old walks in, they've got leather trousers on, they've got a shirt on, and they stand there and they're just cool as fuck and they don't give a fuck, then it's fine.
Cock out.
Well, whatever. It's just like, it's really cool. They don't give a shit and they can just...
I should just if somebody comes in... that, that.
What?
Sorry, I don't really know why I said that, but you were painting a very particular picture.
Yeah, well,
of a man who, for some reason, I just imagined that his leather trousers, as you described them, had suddenly turned into chaps, and he was kind of there, just
this is
really.
the cool guy. I've only got halfway through my story. Yeah.
This is a cool guy.
I'm only halfway through my example.
Well, in that case, you're not painting a picture.
No, so if he walks in, or she, but I'm going to go say he for this day. But walk in and they don't give a fuck and they just look cool. It's an attitude thing. If somebody walks in who's obviously just come out of, and I don't mean this, but come from the office and they're dressed and they just look uncomfortable in it and they're just trying to fit in or whatever, or wearing a denim jacket or a leather jacket when it's obviously it just doesn't fit their demeanour, then that's a bit that's poor.
Do you think that warrants passing audible judgment on them?
Oh no, just a bit of snivelling and that kind of, look at him. And the odds are I'm probably wrong anyway. They probably wear that all the time.
And they,
and they're probably laughing at what I'm wearing. So really,
they may or may not.
Why has that guy got band t-shirts
they
on
may or
and his
may
belly's
not
hanging
adapt
out?
their behaviour accordingly. But I mean, it mainly comes down to sort of language and clothes for me, I think. The whole age thing. I mean, I've recently taken to wearing sweatshirts with motifs, primarily animal motifs. I'm wearing tits on my tits today.
3 tits.
3 tits.
Man, you make me wish I had 3 hands. That's for the Schwarzenegger fans, the Total Recall fans. There's a prostitute with 3 breasts. Anyway, yes.
So this is what I call my ironic tits jumper.
See, I had to take an intake of breath there. The ironic thing is all a bit. No, you're just wearing it because you like it. You realise it's a little naff, but you like it.
Yeah. Oh no, I've just given away the fact that I know it's ironic.
Yeah, I do you? Oh, now you do. Obviously.
Well, no, I just
you're not
bought
who I thought you were.
I just bought it. I just bought it because I liked it, and when I realised that it wasn't just 3 birds. It's 3 kind of quite carefully drawn birds. All of them are tits. And then I was like, oh, it's tits on my tits. And I don't even know if it's meant to be read like that. I've done that. Perhaps the maker of this sweatshirt was oblivious. But what I've done is, as a 42-year-old woman, there, I just had to put my teeth back in. Why do I always go American when I'm...
Didn't know it was American.
In the third person. I don't even know if that was the third person. Anyway, so...
It's kind of like somebody in like 80s, 90s soap opera, like your Vera, for instance. Vera Duckworth from Coronation Street. They would probably wear that then.
Right.
But it wouldn't be. But it would be seriously worn. But you are seriously wearing it. So this is where.
And then I've got my bunny jumper, which is a rabbit in some flowers, and I just like them. I honestly just like them. But I'm conscious that perhaps these are the sorts of things which I should be now, passing on to a younger generation and saying, you wear these clothes and consider the irony in your own young minds, and I will take to wearing more sensible blouses, cardigans, and slightly more comfortable trousers. Because the other thing I would say is that at some point these jeans, whether or not they look too tight, are going to become too tight, and that's probably...
Planning on getting bigger, are you?
I'm not planning, it's just happening. And they're just...
I am.
I'm trying to counter it. It's like a counterbalance game, which every time I eat a Kit Kat chunky is slightly, it's getting further from my reach. But every time I go on the exercise bike, it's like I'm pulling it back.
Okay.
So, but these jeans, they could be more comfortable, and I could just go elasticated waist and be done with it.
Oh,
brown
my God.
Elasticated waisted trousers, because I think that's where I'm heading. I think come 50, I'm going to be all over those brown elasticated waist trousers. A very specific pair in mind. I'm going to be wearing really, really comfortable shoes.
Can we
You
just
know.
stop this podcast now? I think maybe we need a private chat.
Private chat. Is it time for a private
It's
chat?
time for.
Okay.
May well be.
So, but you know, surely you'd be pleased that I'd found comfort in my own style.
I do. It's like I say, it's how you wear it. If you can wear it with style and panache, then brilliant.
I don't think that's going to be possible.
If you can wear it and not give a fuck, then that's
Very
fine.
possible.
But I was thinking about my fashion sense. You know, as a 44-year-old, I would happily wear jeans, tight but not ridiculously tight, but snug.
Bit of give,
Snug, you know, a bit of the package showing, and
but not cock out.
You know, not you couldn't get the full measure, literally.
Fair enough.
But point being, that's fine. And then band t-shirt. Most of the band's t-shirts probably are of a certain, you know, they're a little bit older. So it's not like I'm walking around in the Kings of Leon. You know, they've probably been going for about 15 years now anyway. So
or the Pink Floyd.
The Pink Floyd. No, but that's what I mean. Most of them are like 90s bands or whatever, or bands I've been into for a long time. But this is the clencher. This is the bad fashion sense. I'd often, not so much at the moment 'cause I'm not going out during lockdown, but the suit jacket. The old Jeremy Clarkson look. The old jacket, jeans,
the band t-shirt.
Jacket, t-shirt, jeans.
See, I think that's a great look.
Well, yeah, it was in the 90s.
Oh, sorry, are we not still there? Sorry,
unfortunately not.
It takes me at least
That's
one reminder
anything that
a
starts
day.
with 19 is a long time ago for many people. But yeah, I don't give a shit. I quite like that look, and this shows my age. There's lots of pockets, very useful. Inside pockets, very useful.
And again, you make a very valid point about generally, I think as you get older, things need to become more useful.
Yeah.
You generally are looking less at kind of, oh, these trousers have got loads of holes in them, therefore, you know, that's a statement about how accessible you are, how
accessible you are.
inept at sewing you are. but and you're more about, great, this jacket has got an extra inner pocket, and that is perfect for pens.
Yeah.
Or a spare fiver.
However,
that's what I tend to do.
However, some of my jeans, I'm just going to check the ones I'm wearing at the moment.
Oh,
which
nice sound effect.
I've got that was my keys, but yeah, I do have a couple of pairs, I think, which do have a hole in the right pocket.
Oh,
nothing touchy feely, just think. But
I wasn't thinking that.
But yeah, this happens with wear and tear, and I won't fix them, and then I'll put my mobile phone in there. Which happened a couple of weeks ago, and then it starts working its way down the leg as it gets through the hole, and then you have to
that happened.
It did
Your
happen,
phone
yeah.
fell
and you
all
have
the
to
way
try and
through.
get it out of your leg without
Yeah.
showing everyone, because there's something really in my head. There's something really dodgy about having a hole in your jeans pocket.
Well, you did.
Like,
you did very
as
quickly.
if you're walking around touching
sort
yourself.
of leap to kind of confirm that it wasn't anything. What was it you said? Touchy feely.
Touchy feely. Yes.
But yeah, I mean that's. I think, to be honest, that was a given. But the fact that you had to clarify it probably means most people now think you've cut that out.
Yeah,
And it just so happened that you got caught out by putting your phone in your, what should we call it? I don't know, your wank pocket. And,
well, no. More.
And now, you know, you're having to say,
What's a tickle pocket?
how... That's worse. And that's, you know, and then it's like, well, oh, God, how am I going to get out of this? I know, I'll tell a funny story about how my phone weaved its way all the way down my trousers and fell out of the bottom. But you know, it's too late, really.
And you just go, da-da! Pretend you're...
It's too late. Everyone's just thinking,
Look
tickle
at that.
pocket.
Yeah, everyone's sort of rounding up their children and running away.
Which I would say is not age appropriate. Any age.
No, that's just generally inappropriate. I think they call that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily an age
And
thing.
then again, not in the same way, but I worry about sort of saying, not only am I saying the right thing, but when I think I might have said the wrong thing. So, you know, you might not necessarily to try and be cool. You know, you might say something, but you might accidentally sort of make a reference to something which you just end up thinking, oh, God, you know, like you might make a reference to some TV program.
Oh, yeah.
And then you realise that you're literally the only person in that conversation who's ever seen it. And you think it's really funny, and it might have been one of those sort of anecdotes that you've always drawn on. Do you have anecdotes that you always draw on, or is that just me?
Well, I don't know about anecdotes, but certainly TV series and things like that. And you'll talk about like Spaced, or you'll talk about something like Nathan Barley, or you'll talk about like Monty Python films, or Godfather, even things like this, and people just haven't got a clue.
They're all good, but also you might mention that your first ever TV crush was Nick Berry.
My first ever TV
No,
crush?
mine.
Oh, yours.
Well, he might have been yours.
I don't think it was. But was
but-
it Heartbeat?
No, from EastEnders when he was.
Was he in that? I don't know.
When he was, I can't remember his name.
Was he not Nick? Was he not? No, that's .com.
I think this is one of those where we should have done our
Write
research.
in, email us at
Or let us know.
theworrybook@gmail.com.
Do let us know.
Let us know.
I mean, we'll have found out by the time we hear from you, but you know, it would be nice. I can only think that it was called Nick Owen, but he definitely wasn't, because he was the one that presented This Morning with Anne
Nick Owen
Diamond.
oh, yeah.
Anyway, so, but yeah, that's the sort of thing, you know, I might be talking to a group of, you know, peers, in the sense that, you know, they're my co-workers, and yet the age differential is quite significant. And so, you know, we might get on to kind of, oh, you know, who do you like, or who takes your fancy on television, which sounds like the words of a gran. And I might say, oh, well, you know, the one who really did it for me was Nick Berry in EastEnders. And the look of
They probably don't know who he is, do they?
is just, you know, well, it lasts seconds, because then they've moved on. They've moved on to talk about, you know, things which they all understand, and which then I don't really have much of a reference to point with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's those sort of things, you know. I feel like the pool of kind of, you know, outside of my friendship group, those people who I work with now tend to be a lot younger than me, and I struggle to kind of find tangible.
The worst, there's something worse about.
Stories.
There's even something worse. Maybe it can be when you get their email address. That can be a giveaway or something. But when they say their year of birth,
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
And don't you immediately do the maths in your head? Like,
I try to, but I'm not very good at that.
So then I immediately, when someone does that and they say I was born in 1992, you think, but
1992 is old these days.
How can that be possible when that was only 4 years before I graduated? And yet now we're having this conversation as if we're equals. And we are equals in the sense that, you know, we're both here. We've both been tasked with doing various things. We're both, you know, demonstrating our ability. However, you know, I was doing hand movements.
You were doing hand movements, that's all right.
But you've warned me about this microphone. For those who enjoyed and were able to listen to the tech episode, you'll know that we've had some issues with the mic that reared their ugly bastard-shaped head again tonight.
It did.
And made me cough.
Made you cough. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, so I struggle with that because, you know, I find that, yeah, I will, you know, you go to your own reference points. And, you know, my reference points are predominantly in the 90s or in the 2000s. And now it's almost like I'm having to check whether they were actually born when something happened.
You can it's usually pretty apparent when they just glaze over. Or they shrug.
Yeah. Or
they just go.
Or they just go, what?
And you have to kind of go, oh, God, I'm one of those people. Mm-hmm. Oh, music was better when I was young. Feel-good music of the 80s. Oh, the 80s was a lot better. No,
what was it you said that your favourite genre of music was?
I don't know what my favourite... What did I say?
You said it was all genres.
Oh, when people do that?
Yeah, they say, what's your favourite genre? And you said it's just...
What did I say? I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember now.
That was a good story.
That's probably the worst story I've ever told.
No, people go, what kind of music are you into? Oh, I'm into all kinds of music. Oh, right. Anything in particular? No, I listen to everything. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I went to a festival at the weekend. Oh, did you? This is in the past, but you went to a festival. Oh, did you? Who did you see? Oh, I didn't really see anyone. Oh, right, who were playing? Oh, I don't really know. I said, well, what the fuck are you doing at a festival?
Just enjoying
Give
the
someone your
ambience.
ticket, let someone go who bloody may actually appreciate it, rather than just sat around going, oh, I've got some wood-fired pizza. Because that's what they do as well. They don't just get leathered and pass out. They bloody eat wood-fired pizza and talk about... But they don't even talk about politics. I don't know what they talk about.
Mortgages.
Mortgage. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a mortgage by the time I'm 30. God, we don't want to be after 30. Well, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's hope that we can all get to a festival
You started that.
sometime soon.
Yeah.
And just because
I
I
don't
hate
really wanna
I
go
hate
to one
leaving
now.
something hanging because it makes me worry. What is your favourite genre of music?
My favourite... It depends. It depends. It doesn't mean I listen to everything, but it depends on the mood I'm in. I like generally dark music, but it can be country music or it can be like grindcore.
Okay.
But generally, most people listen to it and go, oh, that's a bit miserable. Oh, God, that's a bit angry. That's a bit, oh, what's up with you? Generally.
And has that changed as you've got older, or has your music taste generally stayed the same?
I wouldn't say they stayed the same, but they because they're not the same, are they? There's like, you know, some of the dark stuff that Dolly Parton and Elvis do, which gets overlooked, and Johnny Cash, you know, can be equally as dark as something that Brutal Truth or Carcass have done. And it's not like I look for dark stuff, it just speaks to me. Well, Party Set, a good example. You know, the minor key, it speaks to me all the way until the sound. I don't know. Oh, God, I'm not very good at rapping.
Oh, so is that what you were trying to do?
I don't know. I was trying to ad-lib and I couldn't think of anything.
No, that was, you should, you know, maybe now's the time to
Now is
to
the time to
really
stop, I think.
to really kind of think about that
Now's the time to
career
stop.
in rap.
Career in rap now, because it's really bad.
It's never too late. I think that's, you know.
So,
anyway, it's
we're
almost too late,
call it
so
a
we're
day.
going to call it a day, and go off and ponder some more. So we'll.
Thank you for putting up with us again, and because we've got to go to bed now, got to get me walking bath and wash me bits, and then I'll get into bed with a nice Bovril and a Werther's, even though I've already cleaned my teeth. No, I don't. I can take my teeth out and they'll clean themselves in the glass at the side of the bed.
That sounds delightful.
That sounds like the life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, happy growing old, everyone.
Yeah, enjoy that aging process.
Yep. And
we'll
you'll never
see
get
you-
this half an hour back that you just
we'll
stole
see
from
you
me.
next time when we're all just that little bit older.
Yes. Good night.
Find the Worry Book on Twitter and Instagram, and if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe. We're also supporting Mind, the mental health charity. If you'd like to make a donation, visit mind.org.uk. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.